Namaste everyone. My name is Shivali and today we're going to be talking about yoga. So I welcome all of you all to my channel. Stay tuned to know why anybody could practice yoga and how yoga can be used as a tool to get discipline and to live a better sustainable life. Question, why yoga? Let's start here. On a regular basis as humans we breathe 16 breaths a minute, which comes up to 960 breaths an hour, which adds up to around 23,000 breaths in a day. Now, I want to ask you all a question, and the question is, how many breaths are we actually aware of? Are we aware of the breaths at all? All the inhalations, all the exhalations that we take, are we usually aware of these inhalations and exhalations? We are not. Just like our breathing, most of the times we're not aware of a lot of actions that we do, a lot of actions that we perform in an entire day or even in an hour. We're not aware of our thoughts, we're not aware of our words, so we end up hurting people. Now, what yoga does is that 1 hour of yoga, or that 1 hour that you promise to spend with yourself on your mat, you promise yourself to not just do yoga, you promise yourself to be aware throughout your practice. You promise yourself to pay close attention to your breath throughout your practice, and that's where your journey starts. So, like I said, when you decide to practice yoga, you decide to become aware of your breath. When you begin to pay attention to your breath, you begin to build a lot of patience within yourself. And this patience and this attention on breath further allows you to develop a relationship and also understand the already existing relationship that you hold with your breath and the relationship that your breath holds with your movements. So, in short, the art of sensitively understanding your breath, the art of accepting your ways of breathing and then accordingly bringing in changes um, to make the quality of your breath better. This art is yoga. This understanding is yoga. This sensitivity towards yourself is yoga. After a couple of months, days, or years of practice, depending on how sincerely you're doing your practice and with how much understanding you're doing your practice, this understanding of breath will further allow you to understand how your breathing quality affects your emotional health, or I'd also say how your emotional health affects your breathing quality, how um, you begin to breathe a little heavily, and you begin to breathe fast when you're very angry. You begin to your breath is extremely heavy and shallow when you're anxious. When you're jealous, also your breathing is very erratic. So a good way to understand this is by consciously putting efforts to um focus on your quality of breath, especially while you are in such moods, while you're angry or frustrated, anxious, uh, etc., etc. On the other hand, when you feel calm, joyful, relaxed, your breathing is going to be very deep, slow, and comfortable. You're going to be comfortable in your own skin. So a great way to understand how your breath reacts to your emotional ups and downs is by bringing focus to your breath each time you are emotionally unstable or you feel low. So here I have an exercise for all you viewers. Next time you're angry, happy, joyful, calm, relaxed, anxious, anytime you're feeling any of these emotions, whether it's a happy emotion or a sad emotion or low emotion, no matter what it is. I want you all to take this challenge. I'm calling it a challenge because it is very difficult to do this. It's not easy. You have to really put in efforts to do this, okay? So I'm giving you a challenge to bring your awareness to the quality of your breath. And say if you're angry, you close your eyes, you focus on your breath and calm yourself down. How do you calm yourself down? By slowly manipulating your breath, by bringing the speed of your breathing down. So, does it mean that on days when we're low, on days when when we're angry or anxious, can we bring our state of mind back to normal, back to calm, just by manipulating our breath, just by bringing some control over the breath, just by observing the breath and then consciously bringing in some changes in our breath? The answer is yes. For example, say you're angry and you're taking 3 breaths in 2 seconds. It's a lot. So you um, bring your awareness to your breath, you close your eyes, and you consciously take one breath, one inhalation in 2 seconds, and one exhalation in 2 seconds, and then you slowly increase it to one inhalation to 3 seconds and one exhalation to 3 seconds. Similarly, you can keep doing that for say just a minute. You just have to do this exercise for a minute. You don't need too much time to do this. But when you do this, you'll find a huge change in your emotional setup. You'll find great change in your emotional setup. On the other hand, if you're feeling calm and relaxed and joyful, you don't really have to make any sort of changes. All you need to do is observe your breath. See how you are breathing. Count your inhalations, count your exhalations, and you'll get an idea of your uh, this breath, emotional setup, relationship, and thing. All of this that I've spoken of in this video. Um, so this brings us to the end of the video. And so our first point for the day or for this video is that yoga is an essential tool because it brings you close to yourself. It allows you to understand yourself a little better. It allows you to understand your breath a little better. Breath being the most personal thing that we have, because we're breathing every second, every millisecond of our lives. So it brings you closer to this very, very personal tool that you have through which you can better your life. So through yoga, you can definitely um, get a better perspective of various breathing techniques and how you can develop these techniques through your practice. We will talk about it later in some videos after we finish the introduction to yoga. So for today, this is it, and stay tuned to see some of my videos that I'm going to post very soon. This was part one of the entire series of introductory videos that I'm going to be posting. I'm not sure of how many parts I'm going to have, but I'm sure of this one. So this is the part one, and stay tuned for part two. Namaste.